I will now hand over to Tarwirri President Andrew Williams, who is a proud Palawa man, to conduct the awards.
Thank you, Layla. Why would I choose to follow Mitch Tambo at my own event? That was an oversight, but look, he's gone up to his room, so you'll have to be really loud, but I think we need to give him another round of applause for how deadly that was. That was incredible. As a friend in the audience said, to get that many people dancing before mains is unheard of, and so you all owe yourself a pat on the back for that too. Really appreciate it, and I want to keep that celebratory energy as we get into this really important aspect of the Law Awards. So, yeah, good evening. Thank you all for coming tonight to celebrate this exciting return of the National First Nations Law Awards. And, you know, a lot of you have come from the conference, so apologies to those who've already heard this already this week. But as I've also said to you, I promise that you'll be sick of me by the end of this conference, and I intend to keep that promise. So for those who don't know me, my name is Andrew Williams, and I am a proud Palawa man, and I'm the president of Tarwirri, the Indigenous Law Students and Lawyers Association of Victoria. Tarwirri are the hosts of this year's National Indigenous Legal Conference, and therefore also this gala dinner and the presentation of these incredible awards. First, I want to thank Uncle Bill for welcoming us to country and for the smoking ceremony, and Gaga for the incredible yaraki. Uncle Bill, and to any other Wurundjeri mob here tonight, I pay my respects to you, your elders, your people, and your country. Like many Palawa, my ancestors were displaced from Latruta, now known as Tasmania, and they lived, survived and thrived on country of the Kulin Nation, some Wathaurong, some Bunurong, and of course Wurundjeri country. I acknowledge your sovereignty, all our sovereignty for all the mob here today, and I note that it has never been ceded. As alluded to earlier, both by Layla and by me, this year is the return of the awards portion to the National Indigenous Legal Conference. It's the first time they've been awarded since 2019. The conference itself didn't run at all in 2020 and 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll try not to dwell on that too much. And then in 2022 and 2023, as the host returned and got the conference underway, you know, the added effort of reviving the awards didn't occur. But last year, when Nalia, Tarwirri's New South Wales equivalent and host of last year's conference, politely offered, Reid heavily suggested, that Tarwirri was to host this year's awards, this year's conference, they also gave us the option of bringing back the awards. Well, Jason, Nalia, of course that was where table 27 was. Thanks, Jason. That must be the relief of being the year after hosting the conference. Well, and to everyone, you're welcome. We did it. We have brought these awards back. But no, in all seriousness, I'm really glad we did, because we received I tried to put a clever word in there, being a lawyer and all, and I just tripped over it. So we received lots of nominations from all around the country. And it was a truly inspiring list of First Nations excellence. And to see the worthy applicants, just an honour, and it's now my privilege to announce the winners tonight. So these awards, after all the excitement of bringing these awards back, we got to during the conference and this part of preparing for tonight, and I'm needing to find something to say to do this occasion justice. And I went through a range of thoughts, and I kept circling back to two words: celebrate and proud. There, job done, right? Speech written. Maybe I'll get to bed early and I'll have more than 4 hours sleep for one night this week. But no, that wasn't enough for tools down, obviously, and so after a brief panic from being all speeched out and quietly wondering if that was how I'd only landed on two words, I did what any good lawyer would do, and I found something a much smarter lawyer had already said, decided to reference them appropriately, and hope that that will be a suitable precedent. So on the point of celebrate, thankfully, I didn't have to look too hard. Just over a month ago, there was a historic moment in the Victorian legal profession where the Supreme Court held their first ever ceremonial sitting for First Nations people, during which, when making remarks to the court on behalf of the Victorian Bar, a wonderful barrister in the room with us tonight, Ewan man Tim Goodwin, Tim expressed the importance of First Nations legal professionals celebrating and supporting each other. He spoke about how First Nations justice itself is best served when each chapter learns from the one that comes before it. It's an important notion that Tim spoke of, one we see reflected in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities in many ways. It's how our elders carry cultural authority and guide us, and it's how our community fights to win hard-won rights and change the future for the next generation. An important part of learning, though, is positive reinforcement. So finding and celebrating the achievement of this mob tonight that we will present awards to demonstrates to all of us that they have done good things, meaningful things, things that we want to replicate so that those who come after better know the trail. On the point of proud, I don't really know why I became a lawyer. I certainly don't know if anything drove me specifically. But what I do know is that I was encouraged to take advantage of educational opportunities that weren't there for previous generations of my family. I studied whatever I found interesting, and well before law, I studied a Bachelor of Science. And at the end of that degree, Melbourne Uni held an Indigenous students' graduation ceremony. And I brought my granny, my mum's mum, along. She loved it. She loved being in that space and seeing us, my sister was graduating at the same time, in that educational institution of higher learning with that mob and cultural overlay. Sadly, Granny passed away during my Juris Doctor, and she never saw me become a lawyer. But once I was even studying the JD, that was already enough for her. I'd take her grocery shopping, and there she would be, telling the cashier at IGA, "This is my grandson, he's going to be a lawyer." In the moment, mortifying. Just nothing more embarrassing. But when I think on it now, I can't help but be moved by how proud she was. And I want to convey that same sense of pride, that inherent, unsought after, unknown even pride, and tell each one of these award winners that that is how we feel about you and your contributions to our profession. So I ask the room, as we read these winners, please join me in 1, celebrating them, and 2, conveying how proud we are of what they are doing, what they have done, and what they will continue to go on and do. So announcing the awards, as there were no set categories previously, Tarwirri decided on some new categories, and we were pretty happy with them, and we got lots of nominations. We wanted to ensure there was inclusivity amongst the awards. And as mentioned, we received numerous nominations. And it was a really difficult process to choose. So I thank all nominees and know that their efforts are highly regarded.